Hello, everybody. We have Hiller in Review, episode 2. Sorry we're late. It's Pool Boy's fault.
I was using my exerciser, sorry.
We're here with Pool Boy and Seth Page, reunited. We did a podcast together after the games, and Seth, technically, sort of his idea for Hiller in Review because of the lack of content in the CrossFit space. So I figured, hey, why not? The confidence in his eyes when he said he's about to, it just gave me shivers. So here we go.
There's no lack of content. There's lack of things to talk about. We're
That's true.
just scraping like the bottom of each other's barrels over and over again, as weird as that sounds to say.
Yeah. But here's the thing. If you think about it, Hiller's going to talk about what's either relevant or entertaining. So you kind of can't go wrong with pulling up a Hiller video and then just elaborating on it, talking about it, because that's what a podcast is. It's a conversation. So screw it. I'm in. All right, let's do this. So we've got a mixed crowd today in that I have seen this. Pool Boy, have you seen it?
I have, yeah. I'll admit I got a little clickbaited into it because I thought the video was actually going to be about him and Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I started this. I have not watched the whole thing. I started listening on a drive and I parked and didn't get far. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, I actually went back to watch the old Brian Friend one. I don't think I'd watched it all the way through because I was just curious what happened. But
don't be a dick, Augustus.
he's always a dick. All right, here we go. Let's see how we do on the sound here.
So far, doing great on the sound.
Yeah. And by great, we mean zero sound.
Really?
In case we're being...
Oh, you.
Yeah. No
Is
sound.
It really zero sound?
For us, apparently you hear it, but we don't.
We literally just tested this the other day. Well, that's good that I saved the file just in case, because the file does work.
Were you doing this straight from YouTube?
Yeah, I wanted to do it as a screen share, and I even tested it, but apparently I'll have to figure that one out later. I tested it with Augustus, and it worked last time.
Weird. I've never had an issue, and I used to do episodes like every day streaming from YouTube.
Yeah,
That's weird.
I'll have to figure it out later. Oh, well, okay. I got the file.
What happens if you stream Pornhub on YouTube? Like if you were to do this, but go to like Pornhub, would you automatically get like...
They've got to have AI for that, don't they?
For sure. StreamYard would kick you off. So I didn't stream porn, but I streamed something one time that was
this is getting weird.
Not okay based on the terms and conditions. And
was it an old Girls Gone Wild commercial? Is that what it was?
I'm way not that cool. No, it was I don't even know. It was like an old clip of another event. Anyway, so StreamYard kicked me off. YouTube dinged me, but StreamYard, it makes it look like you lose your internet connection. StreamYard kicks you off and you're like, what the hell? So you have to try to sign back in. The stream still goes. You get back in like 3 minutes later. I didn't realize what was happening. So I played it again, got kicked off again. And it's just this cycle till you realize it'll just boot you.
That's crazy.
I got to figure out how to find this thing. You guys keep talking for a second.
You guys remember those old Girl Gone Wild commercials?
I can hear the tropical music in my head from them still.
Dude,
it's like when I was a teenager. Yeah,
it would be it was like clockwork. I think like at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night they would start playing, and then sometimes, and then there's those old whatever the hell the word is,
compilations.
Compilations of the videos from like the best sex scenes in Hollywood movies, all on one tape.
I've never seen those ones.
And they had all the great sex
commercials.
Scenes.
I've never even heard of those.
Oh yeah, they would have like the
finish
scene
up
of Halle Berry from Swordfish and like all that.
That's really funny. Yeah, the old like weird like commercials like that. They would even play on channels where it was totally inappropriate. Like if you were watching Nick at Night, past like 11 o'clock at night on Nickelodeon, you would have like a softcore. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like during the commercials of like the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Yeah, exactly.
That would play at Nick at Night.
That's true. All right, let's see how we do on sound.
Weird. Hey, Mr. Thunder.
Did we have sound?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
Bro, Liver King has made an appearance.
Really scares me.
You freaking idiot. Anyway, Danny Spiegel video. Yo, I've got some stuff for you. 18 different stuffs to be specific. This would be kind of a quick hitters video. It doesn't seem like there's very much going on, but if you look close enough, there's a whole lot going on in the CrossFit space.
2 chicks at the same time, man.
Starting with an epidemic, one that is becoming worse and worse with every moment that passes. I was sent this video from the Fittest Experience Qualifier.
That's it?
This has to be one of the worst renditions of the wall ball shot that I have ever seen in my entire life.
Oh,
It's 20-minute AMRAP, where round after round after round, you can see that the individual never, ever reaches below parallel on this wall ball shot. I went on over to check out Demir's Instagram profile, and you can see that they've been doing CrossFit since the year 2021, I believe. Maybe it was 2022, but it's been 3 years of doing the CrossFit Open at least. A quick search through the individual's YouTube profile, you'll see that they probably have never done a wall ball shot to depth in their life. This is in conjunction with some sandbag squats that I saw at the summit.
First question is, what do you guys think about him going after individuals? I know people have brought this up, just like the random.
Hiller corrected himself in his comments, but that was actually Fittest of the Coast, not Fittest.
Oh, okay,
Experience.
yeah.
I'm my girlfriend and I were both trying to qualify, and we're doing that. So I did that very.
And I did see you post your reps, and they were very good looking.
Wait, what was your score? What was your score on that?
So I did it Friday. And
I don't need the whole story. I just need your score.
Oh, okay, sorry. Good point. 5 plus 8 wall balls.
Okay, pretty good. Yeah, very good. Okay.
Did you do it too, Seth, or do you just know
but
people?
I have athletes that are doing it, so I have no, and that's a tough one to gauge what scores will be. So I have no idea what a competitive score will be.
Did I beat him? Because I still don't know because the leaderboard's fucking blurred.
You did not beat the athlete I have, but he is a large fella who could do a lot of wall balls and rowing. So
what did he get?
But you were close.
Did he finish 6?
No, he was in 6, but he was further than you. But anyway, you're right in the ballpark.
How tall is he?
Tall.
Okay, I'm 5'7", so I win.
Yeah.
Wait, but I want to know, what do you guys think about him going after individuals when he just posts? I don't think this is random. And yeah, I agree. Particularly when you're doing a qualifier or something like that. If it was like your local 5:30 class, I'd be like, okay, that's stupid. But when you're doing a qualifier, I still remember during the Open this time, I was literally probably at 3 points throughout the 3 workouts in the Open in my head. On the thrusters on 24.3, I literally in my head thought, you need to make sure you hit depth. What if Hiller sees this? Like that popped into my head.
Do you think so? I'm going back to like what you just said. Do you view it as him going after individuals? Because I just view it as him just seeing it and then just like talking about it. Like he's not trying to insult anyone.
No, I agree. And I guess I use the terminology I've heard other people say. So I use the negative connotation of it. There's been a few, I'll be fully transparent. When he's done a whole video of like the Open where he shows all the no reps, if I see like a really out of shape mom who just started CrossFit, I get a little bit uncomfortable. But then I get more angry at the coach. You shouldn't be doing the Open if you can't hit parallel on a squat. You should. Well,
okay. Yeah. There's a very clear distinction in line in my head. If you are competing against other people, he's always trying to push the standard, right? So if you're competing, you're fair game. You're putting yourself out there. If you're doing it in an affiliate class and you're getting ripped apart by someone online and you're doing your best in an affiliate class, that's not fair. I mean, you could tell that person to do a little better, but that's on the coach. And if the coach is not making those corrections, and if he wants to go, if that's a pattern at a gym and that's different. But when you're competing, all's fair.
I went back, he redid the workout and I went back and watched and his depth was better, but it doesn't look like he's hitting the tape line. And I'm not talking about questionable. There's a few where it's like clearly below. And the only thing I was thinking is he can't see his reps because he's at his house. But I'm thinking in my head, dude, if you already got Hillard, like I would be doing the best reps of my life. So,
maybe he doesn't care because a lot of people don't care what Hillard thinks. So there's that too.
Well, here's the thing. In the comments, he owned it and said, I'm going to do it again and do better.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And he did do better. It's very clear he's trying because a few times he stops a little bit short and then like goes way lower. Like he's trying to think in his head because he's had a pattern of movement for so long that's wrong,
Right.
But it's still a little bit off. All right, here we go.
Games the other day, which maybe you can see on my Instagram profile where the individual is not standing up all the way. And all I can think is that this is a high rocks issue. I don't mean to beat a dead horse with this, but there was a point in time where CrossFit was the thing when it came to movement standards. Sure, the outside world was out there saying CrossFit's dumb, it's dangerous.
we definitely cater to making it still safe and effective. It kind of really scares me that somebody is just kind of setting up their own CrossFit gym on their own and just following it just seems really unsafe. It's sometimes unsafe enough when you're actually there under the watchful eye of a skilled trainer.
They're doing kipping pull-ups all weird, but if you were in the space and you were in the know, you would also understand that there was resources and there was constantly stuff being pushed off on how to do things. And we don't really have that anymore. It's even gotten to the point where during the open, it kind of sucks as well, which leads to things such as the box step-up standard getting all messed up last year during the quarterfinal. You see names like Paige Powers.
You guys will know a little bit more about that, particularly Seth. You own an affiliate. What do you think about what he just said about like the resources being pushed out and stuff?
Like which resources? I was actually focused on two different topics of the six he just threw out there. Yeah, which resources?
So I think he was talking about resources as far as standards, like because he follows up with just how things got messed up with the box step ups this year. I think he suggests that there used to be more resources as far as showing people how to do things, and it doesn't seem to be as prevalent anymore.
So to be fair, I got hung up on the Jada Coons thing, which triggered me for a moment, and then I had to pull myself back in. Okay, so I'm with you now.
Gosh, yeah, no, I hear you.
To be fair, if you're competing at a high level, you know that standard. And I know you say he always posts that video. It's just a thruster, but a box step up, you clearly have to open the hip, extend the knee on top. That's not new. That's that's the same as the old box jump standard. You jump, land, open the hip and knee. And so I understand that every affiliate owner knows that. Every real competitor knows that. I understand that people in the gyms who have less awareness of their own body don't actually always understand what fully open means. And I understand that's left. But as far as the higher level athletes getting dinged, I actually didn't have a problem with that. But as far as like resources for other, coaches, gyms, whatever, to make sure they're doing the standards right, I think there's plenty of it out there. I actually, with some of my one-on-one clients that are newer, lesser skilled, I even trained my brother. I give him stuff. He's never really done CrossFit before. I go on YouTube and I use the CrossFit YouTube demo movements, the things where they break the white screen with Hobart and Julie Fouché. Yep. I use those and I copy those in for stuff for some of my newer clients who need a refresher on how to do a particular movement well. Yep. Those things are all out there. If anyone gives a shit, you can do 2 seconds of research and find out exactly what that should look like. Now, I understand they changed a little bit from season to season, the movement standards, but not a step up. Other movements, look up the handstand walk, look up the wall walk, look up like things that are a little weirder. You need to dial in, but there's plenty of stuff out there.
Yeah,
I agree. Go ahead.
And like this is that's what makes me nervous a little bit, because like at least in-person comps, like in the moment, the judge can correct you. You don't really know if you're not quite opening up the hips until after the fact when you look at your video. And I've had that happen to me a few times where I'm like, fuck, my thrusters don't look as good because I'm not pushing my head quite through enough. So then I like question myself, like, shoot, should I redo the workout, or should I submit it anyways and just see what happens? And I think 90% of the time that's what athletes do, because it sucks to have to redo a workout.
Yeah.
And that's what
does that happen to you? You're so experienced. Why does that happen to you?
It just does. I don't know.
Why?
Man. Like because you don't know what you're
instead of the movement.
You don't know what you're going fast, and you don't know what you look like until after the fact. Like it feels like I'm hitting everything good until I see that my head isn't quite through, looking back at the video. And that's what makes me nervous about these rumors that I'm hearing, that they're going to niche in-person semifinals and just keep it all online and go straight to the games.
Oh shit. That's a whole new topic I didn't even know about.
Yeah, that rumor's kind of spreading a little bit.
I wouldn't like that. No, it doesn't anymore. I believe like you can send a video or you can have a judge, right? Does anybody know?
Yeah, you don't really need it anymore. Like for the Fittest of the Coast video, I never have judges when I do those qualifiers.
I'm more meant for the open. Like for the open, I just did video, and it does make me wish I had a judge when I see. There's been times afterwards I've seen reps that I didn't like.
You don't need one. You can submit anything you want in the open. You don't need to do anything unless you're trying to get to the next level and they're going to call for your video, which they didn't, unless you win.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that I still want to do it right. And like last year in 24.3, I redid it because I had no idea how not low I was getting on the thrusters. They were very questionable. And I didn't know until after the video, but that's also my fault for not doing it on video beforehand to see where I was at, you know?
Like
Sure.
back to Seth's point when he was asking me like how, like why weren't you just, or I don't know, back to what you were just saying. I guess the best analogy I can kind of think of is you're watching a bang bang play in the NFL. A wide receiver does a toe tap catch in the back of the end zone or towards the sideline. As soon as the play is over, the receiver's going to advocate, hey, I caught it. Like, I know I did. But then instant replay says otherwise, right? Like in that moment, you feel like you're hit it. You feel like you toe tapped, controlled the ball, controlled it all the way to the floor, and then you see instant replay and you're like, oh fuck, the ball
And those
did move a little
people
bit.
got minor penalties. I feel like the people who were like that got minors. Whereas, to be fair, like Vellner was very clearly pushing it, trying to do what people had done in the past and what he thought he had to do in order to keep up with the top competitors. I think he probably knew that he was pushing it, if I had to guess, looking at Vellner's video. The people who were just going too fast and their knees got soft probably got minor penalties, if I had to guess. I watched
that
a lot of those videos.
That whole situation was so weird because I had an athlete at my gym. She was pushing for semis, and she got knocked out originally because of the strength workout. She just wasn't quite strong enough, so it knocked her out. But then the penalties from everyone else knocked her back in.
Mhm.
Then she got a penalty, which knocked her back out.
Yeah.
But she then appealed just to say, oh, fuck it, see what happens.
Yeah.
And they gave her a rep back, which was good enough to knock her back in to semis. And she ended up going to semis. So that whole process kind of just made me think like,
that's crazy.
What are you guys doing to like look at these videos? Like, why was it that you deemed one rep of hers was good enough to give back? Just the whole process to me just seemed very odd.
You could use
I agree with that.
people. You could use the general public with the judges course to flag things that then goes to somebody else. Like people would actually go in and watch workouts if they were all public. I don't understand some of the things that they do. Anything would sort of be better than kind of the way it's been going, in my opinion.
And I remember Hiller's boy got dinged and they didn't appeal.
Yeah.
And I almost wanted to text Hiller and be like, hey, I had an athlete appeal and she got and she won it. But I forget why I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they went back and looked, and Bill's a good dude. He's an honest dude. I think he just said he agreed with the penalty. So all right, let's do this.
Taken out. Nick Matthew getting freaking taken out. And why is that? It's because they kind of really suck at giving you the message of what the movement standards are supposed to look like. The importance of why you are supposed to be squatting below parallel. It starts at the top, it goes all the way to the bottom. And what we're speaking of here is kind of at the top, at the level of competition. That guy can't do a wall ball shot, doesn't know what below parallel is right there. This guy can't hit hip extension on the front weighted sandbag squat, which is actually just kind of a dumb movement in general. Almost setting the athlete up for failure, in my opinion, there. But still, you should be standing them up all the way. The judge should be holding the athlete to the standard. It's kind of the judge and the head judge's fault at that point, considering that person won the event. Someone just let him know that he didn't stand up a single one of those squats. Not a single one, because he does stand one up. And then you got these comedians. I don't even know what they're from. People know what they're from. I know CrossFit stuff. I guess I can look it up. Nelk Boys? Is it the Nelk Boys? I don't even know what a Nelk Boy is. It is the Nelk Boys. Got a buttload of followers. And very similar to the crusade that I've been on in relation to sugar recently, there should be some sort of a shame to not being able to hit the movement standards. So when I see this dude uploading a video publicly where the wall ball shot is clearly not having hip crease reach below the knee, you see Mr. Nelk Boy uploading his Hyrox thing, crossing the finish line. Look how cool we are. Everybody should be berating him, saying, no, you are not going below parallel. Everybody needs to know. It becomes this circle of events where everyone's like, oh my god, I don't want to be shamed. So either you're not going to upload it, therefore telling the entire world that it's okay, or the better option, you're going to start doing it the right way. So if on the off chance someone is recording you, happens to send them to somebody like an Andrew Hiller, you've got nothing to worry about because you know that you did it right the first time. Which brings me to a couple of
Hey, look at rewind it like 5 seconds. Look at the
Look at this.
Look at the black
Screenshot of
gentleman. I know. Look at the black gentleman's judge. She doesn't once look at his ass. She's just looking at the target the whole time.
This one right here.
Yeah, the gentleman on the left.
recording you, happens to send them to somebody like an Andrew Hiller, you've got nothing to worry about because you know that you did it right the first time.
Well, her head moves, but it doesn't move far enough. Okay, I got to get this off Hiller. This is weird.
Where are those Hyrox judges coming from? Who are they?
Dude,
Volunteers?
I don't actually know.
Because we don't even get, I mean, we get some decent volunteers in the CrossFit space, but we don't even get that many high quality volunteers in CrossFit, and we've been doing this forever.
Yeah.
And so to expect the high, I mean, I don't know why they can't get their shit together, but I guess I just don't expect standards to look anywhere near what we expect in CrossFit. I don't know why I like give them, I'm not giving them a pass. I think it's a joke, but I don't take it serious, and I don't know why someone would take it serious. They haven't shown any reason why their standards are legitimate at all. And I think the single test is a fine event, but there's no legitimacy to it in terms of standards or like the burpee broad jump. I know, like I saw a video.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. Tell me.
Well, I don't even know the details. I just know that they set a very general standard, and then they had to change the standard because somehow people were able to like beat it a little bit. But then I see people doing all these different, it's not legit. It's a joke.
I forget who it was. I think it was maybe Heidi, but someone commented on the Savant show or something, I think with Hunter on it, talking about it. And she said, or he said, hey, someone at the event told their judge, hey, I can't sandbag lunge with my knee touching the floor. And the judge was like, all right, just keep going.
No problem.
And she just, I guess, lunged the whole way without touching the knee down. But I mean, I can't really critique too much about Hyrox. I don't know enough about it. Like, do they have the same like PDF online documents that like the CrossFit Open releases, like showing standards and what they look like? I don't know. And then for the Nelk boy, I mean, I give him a pass kind of, because I'm just assuming he's dumb.
If he fixes it, I'll give him a pass.
Yeah, but does he know? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
why would he care?
He's like, does he do CrossFit? What's his background? Like,
he does now. I sent him 722 messages. Didn't you hear Hiller? He said, shame him.
But like, yeah, I don't know. He probably thinks he's doing it right.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yes, because that's how I did wall balls. And people probably told me, but they didn't tell me over and over. And to be honest, I feel like my memory of my first year of CrossFit at CrossFit Fortius in California, it gives me a bad feeling just because I think in my head I was not hitting certain standards, and I would have rather been told like over and over, to be honest. I think the biggest problem with judges in CrossFit is not that they don't know the standard, but that they're afraid to say no rep or warn someone and then say no rep. Like, you got to go in with a mindset like, I'm not your friend right now. I'm going to no rep you. Like, this is business, you know?
I think that's a great point. I think too many of these judges have I don't want to know if celebrity is the right word, but they have too much of this, like, I'm afraid, like, I don't want to cost this guy's event. I don't want to seem mean towards this athlete. You know, I think there's too
you don't
much
want
of
to
that
seem
in
like an
sport.
a-hole.
Yeah.
But if you explain it properly, like, it's just, I wish people were better at that, but they would.
Dude, the path of listen, at a High Rocks event, the path of least resistance for these judges that are standing there while people funnel through this all day is just to count and move along. Like, what is their incentive in this to add any extra struggle to their task? They're already standing there all day. If we're just talking about human beings, I'm not adding that to my plate in this event. I don't even know what I'm looking for. I'm just volunteering. Leave me alone. They did it. Move on. Like, that's how it is. It's not serious.
Could we have paid judges? I haven't even thought about it. Is that possible? Do they do that at some events?
In CrossFit?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what difference would that make?
I don't know.
You're making the assumption just because they're paid, all of a sudden they're going to be better.
Yeah.
They in fact could be worse if you pay them. Some judges, yeah.
It's like the stupid argument about, like, well, what happens at the games when those lifeguards are volunteers, and you're making.
That's a good point.
The fuck's the difference between them being volunteered and being paid?
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it.
Is recording you happens to send them to somebody like an Andrew Hiller, you've got nothing to worry about because you know that you did it right the first time. Which brings me to a couple of the higher level athletes that we see in the CrossFit space. I understand that they're trying to get things done as quick as possible. I understand that these are training pieces, but I've also coached thousands of people. And when you coach thousands of people, all it takes is a simple flip through to see that there's something awry here. So when I play these clips, one of them's from Ellie Turner and the other one's from Brent Fikowski, you're looking at it and you're like, there's something wrong here. What is it that is wrong? And a lot of people are going to be saying, they're not getting their head through the bar. And like, in theory, that isn't really necessary. Sure, if you take your level one, it's going to say, get your head through the bar at the top of the shoulder press, but I believe in just about every movement standard that I've ever read that the bar needs to be in alignment with the shoulders over the midline of the body right here. So this, you can't finish a thruster out here. This is how you finish a thruster. Yeah, my head is through, but my head could also be back here. The thing about having your head back there is it is usually harder to have the bar over your center of mass when your head is also behind it. Kind of inclined to want to keep the bar in front of you. It's like you've got this giant 20-pound freaking bowling ball sitting here, and when it's back, the bar has to be forward or you're going to fall over. So in my competitive time, we had the Rich Furness, we had the Matt Frasers, we had the Tiatumis, and we still have the Tiatumis, but what we have now is a handful of people who in their practices, we see Brent Fikowski, who's got like that soft elbow, kind of like pushing it out in front of him and bringing it down. Is it close? Yeah, but anybody who's seen thousands of people do a thruster, you look at it and you're like, there's something wrong with that. And that's what's wrong with it. It's out in front of you. It's not over your center of mass. That should be a no rep. It is a practice, but it's also practice how you play. It would really suck, especially for somebody like Ellie Turner, who's coming off of a back injury, to put in like hundreds of thousands of thruster reps where no one's going to say, get that bar behind your midline or over your midline. And then all of a sudden you're in a competition and you get that first no rep because it isn't a rep. And then you have zero practice doing them the right way. But what do I know? I make YouTube videos. And speaking of,
all right,
Seth,
let me play devil's advocate here,
right,
at least for Brent.
Like
so for Brent,
I was going to do the same.
Unless that was sped up, which I don't think it was. I think that I didn't see the actual original clip. Brent's issue is his speed and cycling things like thrusters and stuff like that. He's a taller athlete. His rep speed is a struggle. He may be willing in training to just live on the boundary of what's good and what's not good in exchange for focusing on doing intently faster sets to try to create some sort of stimulus. He may not give a shit about that extra inch the bar has to travel back over his center. He's not competing. So it's the same thing when people are trying to increase speed of pistols. Sometimes they go back and forth fast. The hip's not open all the way. Is that a good thing to always do because it will come out in competition? No. Is it a tool you can use in training to focus on a specific stimulus that you may not hit if you're adding extra range of motion? Yes. So you can play with the lines of what's good and what's not good in training to gain another sort of stimulus from it. So that's the only thing that I'll say.
The other one you could clearly tell, who is it? Ellie Turner?
I think that's what he said.
So on the left, you could clearly see it because it was more of a side view. I wouldn't have, unless he mentioned it, I wouldn't have noticed. Brett, but I don't have that eye. I will say that because of my range of motion back here, I had to start deliberately feeling like I was putting my head through. I think he mentioned that you don't necessarily have to put your head through, but I think that's people who can get back far enough. For me, I have to actually go like this, or else from the side, it'll be a no rep. So
I'm the same.
Yeah.
Shit shoulders, us.
I'm perfect.
Yep. Well, in about, in a couple years, 3, 4, 5 years, you'll be just like me and Seth. Hopefully not. I don't want to put that evil on you. All right, let's.
Dude, I'm already there, man. I'm a fucking masters athlete next year. It's crazy.
Are you really next year?
Dude, yeah, I'll be 35.
Wow, dude, you're gonna kill it though. You're performing at a high level.
We'll see.
Could you beat yourself from 5 years ago? I ask everybody this question.
I don't know, man. It's so weird. It's a hard answer for me to. Hard question for me to answer.
All right.
I 100% can. I 100% can beat myself from 5 years ago.
Really?
My penis is bigger.
I like that.
Thanks to the exerciser compared to 5 years ago.
Oh
wow.
My gosh. That's crazy though. I like that. Seth, me and you are the same age, and just hearing that you've been able to improve. That's good to hear. I like that. All right. Let's do this.
YouTube videos. And speaking of the fact that CrossFit doesn't get out any training content anymore, Don Fall had some sort of an affiliate gathering at Invictus CrossFit a couple of weeks back, and on that he said that they're going to be opening up a new YouTube channel for some unforsaken reason.
We are launching a new YouTube channel specifically focused on training. And so this will be just about education that for you and for your coaches that can make you better. A free resource with really high quality content. We think about this as, an always on resource that you can use to continue to hone and refine your craft. And so we're going to get that out the door in the next month or so. Look forward to kind of your guys' feedback on what you'd like to see there.
And I found it. When I found it, it had 5 subscribers. I shared it in my story, and what does it got right now? 579. CrossFit, you are welcome. Launching mid-October. Mid-October is rapidly approaching. I can only imagine what sort of content. I hope for the best. I hope that there is some sort of a new series of events where everybody is going to have a good influx of what it means to hit the movement standards. So we aren't relying on the Nelk boys to be telling us how to do wall ball shots. But the most interesting thing about that, at least for somebody like little old me, making my little old YouTube videos, or my little old Instagram stories, is that they picked up 500 plus subscribers on their YouTube channel. They also put up a video on their Black page, which has 1.7 something million million followers. They shared it to their profile, and in the first 2 hours, at least when I'm making this, it's got 352 views. 352 views in 2 hours. Those are rookie numbers. You gotta pump those numbers up. You gotta do something. You gotta inject some freaking venom into the YouTube channel. Get that thing freaking going. I watched that video with Lynn Knappman, the Masters athlete. You don't even know that Chad McKay's in that video. Freaking Chad McKay's in that video. That video is freaking phenomenal. How do I not know that Chad McKay is in that video from the title and the thumbnail? You freaking idiots. Anyway, let's see how that training channel goes. An event happened in
I'm having trouble even handling Hiller on high speed, but I'll get used to it.
It's
I've not,
even if you played it on normal speed, it would still feel like he's on high speed in this video.
yeah. But the funny thing is that's not his personality. It just is in the video. People probably expect him to be like wild. I'm way more hyper than he is. What'd you guys think about the training? The idea. It's hard for me to get excited about anything just because of what we know in the past. I mean, we'll see what happens, right? I'm for it.
Sure, I'm for it too. Fine.
Yeah.
The information is out there. I mean, it is so out there. The amount of work that was done from early 2000s to 2018 and pumping the message of what we're doing, and even making it crystal clear the difference between the methodology used in affiliates and what we see at the games. Like, everything is out there. It's crystal clear. They've done a phenomenal job for years and years, and then it all ended. And then they haven't just decided to repurpose. Why don't they just go through and reshoot everything? Just reshoot it from the start, rebuild it. Like, if you want to make a kick-ass YouTube back to, 1 million plus subscribers, it's already out there. Just recreate it. I don't know what else you would do. Like, high quality content. What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't get it either. Like, Savon's even said this on his show when Greg still owned the company. I think there was that time where he was just like, well, we did it. We put out all the information out there that we could. Now affiliates are just paying for a loyalty brand or a loyalty fee, pretty much. Because it's like, it's true. Like, what else can they do? All the information's out there. And then, I'm not an affiliate owner, Seth. You could probably comment on it. But like, when you open an affiliate, don't they give you like this huge like resource book to kind of go by?
I don't know. I don't need that stuff. I've been watching the CrossFit media since 2008. I'm taking it all in for the past 16 years. I don't need them to redo. I don't need them to put new stuff on the YouTube channel. I need them to, if they want to get more people involved, the stuff that got me involved and gave me a career of 16 years long and potentially have set me up for the rest of my life with this opportunity, do the same thing over again. Let someone else take the next ride. Like, I don't know what they're going to try to create that's better than what they've already done. What can you offer? It's already all been said.
Yeah, just go the Hollywood route and just remake everything.
Well, that's
absolutely.
Yeah. So if they're doing that, it would work. I mean, get somebody. I still go to that whenever I've got a movement and something pops in my head. Like, do I need to do that on this movement or whatever? That's not even true. All right.
That's what I laughed at.
That's not true.
I also laughed. I tried hard not to laugh out loud at Trish's comment.
Trish?
Seth,
yeah, I got
Seth
owning
a Volvo.
My first car was a Volvo. Trish, how you like me now?
Trish, how do you not know Seth? Does she not show up in your chat? Trish,
of course she does. Of course she does. Yes.
You know what's funny is my girlfriend thinks she's real. Like, she was like, "Who's that old lady?"
I don't even know what.
That's awesome.
That old lady followed me on Instagram.
Is it a second iteration? Do you guys think they were talking about that the other day, or has Trish always?
Yeah, no one ever like just glanced over the fact that she died, and no one even questioned how she came back. She died. She died in a bus crash. Remember?
Oh wow! I
wasn't there. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
And no one even batted an eye when she came back. It reminds me of if you've ever seen that awful Keanu Reeves movie called Replica. He's like this scientist that has the ability to like clone people or whatever. He has that technology. And long story short, his family dies in a car crash, but he only has enough to bring back everyone but one. So he chooses to not bring back his daughter. But then the whole rest of the movie, no one even fucking notices that his daughter's gone. And it just the whole movie is just like, wow, this is fucking stupid. No one's even like questioning that his daughter's not there. It's retarded. That's what everyone's doing to Trish.
That's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
Augustus, not a lot, Augustus, but 10 affiliates for sure. I go whenever I travel, I go to an affiliate. and then I was a member at an affiliate in California. And I didn't tell my wife this, but when I was trying to move out of Kansas, I was like basing it off what affiliate I wanted to go to or where I knew there was a congregation of good CrossFit affiliates. I wanted to move back to Ohio because Northeast Ohio has a ton of CrossFit affiliates.
Wait, so are you sure it's been 10?
If it's not 10, it's 9. I was trying to add them up in my head.
So I've owned 9 personally.
Wow.
Ooh.
It's close then.
It's close. 3 in Maine,
Wow.
one in Florida, and the 5 current.
I didn't know it was 5. I thought it was 3.
Did you ever have were you the original founder of the Misfit Portland gym?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's crazy, dude. That's awesome.
all the Misfit guys. I learned about CrossFit through law enforcement, and I brought it to all them. Was like, check out this shit. I'm gonna start a gym, and they're like, you can't start a gym. I'm like, oh yeah, I can. And I convinced one of them to do it with me. But yeah, I basically brought it all to them.
That's a super cool story. Do you have a video where you go over your whole story? Because it's kind of cool.
Not really. It's been glazed over a few times, like through some random videos. I haven't I haven't done the exclusive 2-hour interview, and I don't know that my emotional psyche can even handle going back through all that.
That makes sense. All right, let's do it.
New York this past week. I think it's called Strong New York, and I think that is where James Townson just freaking blew out his leg. One of the strongest individuals in the CrossFit space, former coach of Mal O'Brien. We've seen him do crazy stuff with weighted pull-ups, but he's more known for his Olympic weightlifting, his deadlift, his bench press, all of that freaking stuff. And I've also seen the world kind of chuck around the performance-enhancing drug accusation against James Townson, but I think he's just a fast twitch kind of dude. I think he's been strong his entire life, and I think that the message that he's telling everybody right there is that at any point in time you can go and you don't really know why. What went? Tore his quad muscle. Video of him in the hospital. Video of him getting into the airport. That's going to be a long recovery. Big fan of James Townson. I don't think that dude used performance-enhancing drugs, but there is a dude out there who did use performance-enhancing drugs. He was caught via the CrossFit testing system, which has all of these porous holes in it, but they did catch Mr. Phil Toon. And why are we talking about Phil Toon? Well, he had an injury recently as well. That dude's band is coming up kind of soon, and he put up an Instagram story where somebody asked if he missed competing in higher CrossFit level competitions. He writes that he misses certain aspects of it, but what he realized being out of it is that how consuming the lifestyle is of a CrossFit Games athlete, level Games athlete, training to be a CrossFit Games athlete, considering he made it and then he had that yanked away via the popping of the drug test. And again, it's kind of one of those things where you see some of the higher level younger athletes dabbling in stuff outside of the CrossFit space. Emma Lawson put up a video where she's golfing the other day. Mal O'Brien looks like a straight up influencer at this point who's dabbled in the high rock space. But then again, we also have people like Dallin Pepper who also came out of the teen division. He's doing.
I think she also just did high rocks, didn't she? Emma Lawson, her and Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
By the way, While on Earth, stupidest name for a shoe. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I want to try it, but it's a terrible thought. I want to buy it.
I'd be more inclined to buy it if it was called like Anal Fisher or something.
I kind of just want to make fun of it. It doesn't look bad, I guess. Is that
no?
That's
it
it
doesn't.
no?
It doesn't. Yeah, that's it right there. No, it doesn't look bad at all. Actually,
looks clean.
It looks a little like he kind of took some from the Metcon a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a no for me. I'm gonna stick with my Vans.
Yeah.
Do you guys follow as many reviews as
dude.
possible?
Do you really do Vans for workouts?
Yeah, I've worn Vans nonstop for the past like 6 years.
Yeah, don't you watch his day 881 of thrusters videos? Come on,
I watch them all, but I have ADD. I don't notice details.
Barefoot, sandals, or Vans.
Yeah.
Those are my options.
I do like barefoot. Deadlifting always barefoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a
oh wait. Something popped up.
Yeah.
Phil Toon. Do you guys know Phil?
I mean, I know him from.
Have you seen him in person?
Yeah. No. He's
so
huge,
he came.
Right?
Oh my God. He could be like, he could play a superhero without any prep. He's like the makeup and
on
costume.
steroids. He is.
I don't know.
It's impossible.
Whatever. He got popped. Whatever. I'm not accusing him of anything. He showed up to support some members from his gym at one of the competitions we had in our Phoenix gym. Nice guy, by the way. Talked to him for a few minutes. But what the fuck, dude? He looks like he's just carved out of marble. He's huge. I don't even know how he could do CrossFit. I don't know how he could do 10 burpees. He's so huge. It's insane. Like, I don't know how he could breathe.
Actually, I lied. I did see Phil Toon once. The very first, I don't know if it was the very first year they did it, but the inaugural year they did something called the Vegas Showdown. He was unknown at the time, and he competed in the elite division and just mollywopped everyone. And he was pretty huge then, but he didn't seem like one of those like, hey, he's so huge, he's on steroids. Like I never thought that when I saw him. I just was like, oh, that's a big mofo.
Yeah, and his lifts, I've seen some of his lifts like randomly on social media over the past, I don't know, years or whatever. He like squats and pulls like a competitive power lifter too. It's crazy.
When you're on a ban, do they continue to test you or no?
They can, if you keep your name like in the pool or something to come back from it. Yeah, they can. If you refuse, then the ban gets extended.
Oh,
because I've wondered that, because I have seen those videos too, and I'm like, oh my
okay.
God, dude, this dude is fucking.
Well, that's my point. Is he could never. I can't see how you could go back to competition, being that much older. I don't know his age. I guess it's not. He is.
He's younger than you think.
Is he? Okay.
I'm pretty sure he is, because I remember the first time like someone told me his age, I was like shocked, because I mean, I don't want to say this in a mean way, but he looks like a leather football.
Yeah, I'm 99% sure if he does what I think he does.
And you're laughing because you agree.
Like I didn't think of it like that, but yeah, okay.
You can't just. The only way he could do it is if he stopped everything like I guess if you stop everything 3 weeks before, you're still gonna have all the benefits. No, I don't think he did. Because he came on. Hiller did that video on him where he visited his gym, and he said he doesn't use. So as far as I know, he still claims natty. I could be wrong though. Augusta, see if you can find it. Let us know.
I have no idea. I mean, whatever. You can throw around whatever assumptions. But just speaking purely of like, you see the guy from across the room at a competition, you're like, holy shit, that guy is massive.
Huge.
He is 26.
Oh.
He's 26. Like 26.
Yeah, younger than I
thought he
too.
was like 30 on a 4-year ban. Okay.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. The dude looks so old.
Dang,
2000 is. I just Googled an article, and it was like, what, 2022 he got the ban, and it said, at 24 years old, blah blah blah.
Wow. So he will still be young. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
All right.
Just fine. But I just thought that there was an interesting post from Phil Toon. But we're not done talking about performance-enhancing drug users quite yet, because the Liver King has made an appearance. He's actually made a number of appearances on his YouTube channel. You know I love looking at numbers and analytics, and you may have also seen that I said the Liver King was buying some subscribers, buying some views all over the place. He's still pumping that Instagram freaking volume, but over on YouTube, it looks like he stopped paying the bills, because you can buy these things on a subscription, because he's got 1.2 million followers. So when you have 1.2 million followers, especially when they're recent followers like they are via his social blade, you can see they all just jumped aboard. There's not one video that you're going to put up that's going to only have 2,000 views over the first 10 hours. We're not talking CrossFit followers that they got a decade ago. These are new people, and he's seemingly losing his mind. That's why we're here.
What's up? Redo. Okay. Fuck. Okay. Shit.
Yeah, this was very
Liver
weird.
King can't sleep. Wake up, do Tabata push-ups until arms fall off the side to do before and after with the shoulder pump. So I haven't done my shoulder exercise, even though I just had a whole bunch of protein. I don't know if that's how, but not a huge shoulder. I mean, I'm good. Ain't nobody disputing that, y'all. He looks good, y'all.
Is he hammered?
Man, I'm good.
The only thing I can think is like Tren. Did you guys see the Tren video going around that Derek More Plates More Dates did on that guy who was the cops were like chasing him and stuff, or no? Okay. Tren will make you absolutely drunk, insane, weird.
Is that the drug that Hiller talks about where he's like, hey, this is the steroid that if you take, and even if you're like with your girlfriend 24/7, 8 days a week, like you're gonna think she cheats on you.
I'm more open about this now. I know a ton about steroids, like a really lot. I was on TRT, and I had a doctor who prescribed me. I've done Anavar, I've done Winstrol, I've done Deca. This was all in like 2022. I was CrossFitting, but I wasn't good at CrossFit, and I didn't really. I shouldn't say what I did and didn't do with regards to competition, but I was like 20th percentile. We'll just say
what a beast.
There probably wasn't any crossover. But yeah, no, I've done all that. I went through a really weird phase and was like, oh, a doctor's prescribing it to me. And so I do know quite a bit. I like consumed everything about steroids. I was so fascinated, and I'm not on anything at all and haven't been. But Tren is like the ultimate. Like Tren, in 3 weeks, you will have visible, fairly significant results. It's also very dangerous because, like Hiller said, you will be jealous. You'll be paranoid. You would be probably at risk for like suicidal tendencies if you have a bad reaction to it. So it's very dangerous.
So is that the classic? Is that the classic like roid rage drug? Is that like? Because I don't know anything about roid rage.
Yes.
I mean, is that
it's
if you're on
like
that, you're flying off the handle? Yeah.
Yeah, that and A-bomb, and Anadrol, I think it is, A-bombs, D-ball. Those are like the next tier below Tren. But yes, ultimate roid rage. Like you see people on steroids who beat up their girlfriend or murder someone. It's Tren. So, but I don't, he's not raging here. He's either drunk or he's on Tren. I don't know.
He looks hammered to me. Like that would be
he does.
Yeah, I don't even know.
It's weird, man.
It's like pretty good. Ain't nothing to complain about, really.
Now I'm sitting there with Alexis watching this video. It's 36 minutes long. And the first 10 minutes.
God, I hate videos like this.
Are legitimately nothing. It's titled Cold Plunge with the Liver King. He puts the camera down, which he does in a couple other videos, which is incredibly awkward compared to the freaking high quality, amazing content that he used to put out. It reminds me of like a 90-year-old trying to use an iPhone for the first time. It's like, all right, put the phone down.
And he looks old.
This feels fucking weird, bro.
This is me trying to shoot anything.
Yeah. That's funny.
Trying to feel for him in this moment.
Last fucking thing, bro. Even some people do this. I don't know what fucking angle people record it. Food things on. I'm gonna stop fucking recording and just doing life. Here's the thing. That thing. He thinks we can multiply Liver King. I know we can multiply.
Am I in camera? And then he just walks away for 10 minutes. There's two truths to this. Truth number one, the dude's losing his freaking mind. Truth number two, he wants you to think that he's losing his mind. Because if you just go cruise over there and watch a couple of those things, they're weird. They're really weird. And he looks more jacked than ever. The reason I think it might not be planned is because I saw Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet put up a video the other day where she's sitting in her car.
If you're looking for a train.
Does anybody know who this is? I don't.
Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet.
Of course.
Of course.
You
Everyone
knew who
knows
is this?
Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet.
She's a CrossFit Games champion.
Yeah, show some respect.
Gosh darn it.
Yeah, she won it. She won it richest.
I am a CrossFit toddler. I'm 3 years old. I'm learning.
It's okay. My girlfriend says the same. She probably doesn't know who she is.
I'm cutting this part out. Anybody who's not live isn't even going to see this. It's going to.
I heard she's not nice.
Oh, that was a bad one. I agree. Sorry, guys. I'm trying. Okay, let's do this.
Program that is going to help you feel great, strengthen your joint and your muscle, and not bang everything down and get hurt anymore. Check out the Alpha Big program. That's what I do all the time now. I've been loving it. All my boo-boo from competing are gone, and I like how my body's changing, and I can still do a weekend competition if I want. And yeah.
And she's promoting her training program. And again, this is somebody with over 1 million Instagram subscribers, and you're kind of accustomed to seeing things done up a little bit, especially when it's promoting something of yours. And this has to be one of the most awkward and least done up videos ever, which isn't inherently bad, but it's just like you couldn't have put in a little bit more effort, like maybe made sure that the baby wasn't crying in the background, or maybe made sure that the only thing you can hear is your voice, or actually act enthused about your training program when you're putting up this video. Be like, hey, yo, Dave, hey, Mr. Thunderbro, can you hold the baby for a second while I try to rev up my audience? Sometimes people just don't think or care, I suppose. Kind of like Noah Olsen in those shoes. You know, he's a rad athlete. He's on the website. He does these running clubs. He was wearing them at the games, tagging Rad Global. And then he was in a podcast wearing Nike shoes. And everyone's like, maybe he doesn't have to wear them when he's not working out. And I'm like, okay, let's say you're right. And also, let's say Nike's paying me, I don't know, $10,000 to $50,000 a month to wear Nike shoes. Let's say Apple is paying me $5,000 a month to use their AirPods. Wouldn't it just be weird if you ever saw me wearing Samsungs? If you ever saw me wearing Adidas shoes? Well, he's weightlifting. The Adidas weightlifters are so...
I feel like it depends on how much they pay you.
I don't know anyone else personally. I've never met anyone else that can do or think the way that Hiller does this stuff. Like, I sometimes I watch this stuff and I want to say, dude, who gives a shit? Other times I'm like, how do you notice that? And other times I'm like, go get him. It's like crazy the roller coaster that is Hiller's brain. And when he makes a compilation like this, I'm like, what are we taking? What are we doing? Like before we start hit play, like what's going on here? This is crazy.
I know, right? No, I agree. And it was entertaining for me. I like it. You're right. He said at the beginning, I've got 18 things like, but like, that's the thing. If he doesn't have a continuous video, I would rather him put this stuff out. Like it's fun. I don't know what to think about the shoe thing. It's entertaining. Like I would never notice it, and I don't really care, but
see, I care because it comes off
Yeah,
disingenuous.
tell me.
It comes
I
off
care too.
it comes off disingenuous
Cool.
to me. Like everyone knows that Noah used to be a Nike athlete, right?
I care too.
And it's like, and it's, and this is kind of what frustrates me as an athlete. I mean, I have like a few sponsors, but it's like,
Yeah.
just like, hey, here's free
But
shit.
you
Like,
rep
they don't-
them, dude.
Like, oh,
You
dude,
still
yes.
rep them.
And I'm not even gonna like, I don't get a dime from Strike Movement. They don't pay me shit, but like they will hook me up every so often, and I'm not even exaggerating. I guarantee you, if Rad paid me 3,000, I could be their cheapest athlete.
Yeah.
3,000 a month, and I guarantee you, I'd probably get more engagement and more eyes on the Rad shoe than Noah.
Yeah, you do well. I think you could do well with that for sure.
So Rad, if you're listening, pay me.
If someone is investing anything in me, even if it's a small thing, like we'll use shoe because that's what we're on, and I accept that. The whole like now that is my shoe. I'm not going to get caught dead wearing another shoe in a produced media piece of this. I have no idea how old that is. Maybe that I have no idea. Maybe that's a new clip, old clip. I don't know. But just from my perspective, like Reebok used to hook up Misfit back in the day, big time. I mean, they were paying for stuff for athletes. They were sending us boxes like weekly full of gear and shoes. We had so much shit we didn't know what to do with. We were giving stuff away to members. Like they were hooking us up.
Yeah.
And I wore that stuff out. I wore all the Reebok shoes. If I was working at we accepted that. We decided to work with them. They hooked us up. They took care of us. I made sure that I wasn't dabbling with anything else because that's wouldn't be fair. Otherwise, I shouldn't be accepting it. And that goes for sponsorships, paid or not. Like I just feel like, be truthful to it. And if you don't want to represent it, then don't take it because it's not true to who you are. Like I think that says something about your character.
Yeah, like these athletes, they just, I don't know, like I don't want to knock them too much, but it's just kind of like I feel like it's just a paycheck to them. They just promote
just
the next
do products
thing,
that you believe in, that you use. If you think it's a good product, that's fine.
Like that, like let me use Elijah Muhammad as a great example, as a positive example for a type of athlete a shoe company should sponsor. That dude at the NorCal Classic, I didn't even wear Strike Movements because they don't sell a running shoe. So I wore a running shoe.
Sure.
I'm in the corral with him and I look and he's wearing his fucking Strike Movement Haze trainers. I'm like, dude, you're going to run 5.5 miles through trails and rough terrain in those shoes. And he's like, hey man, they're the best shoe in the game, man. It's my shoe. Like I do everything in this shoe. And and it's like, dude, that's fucking respect. And there's not enough athletes like him out there.
That's sick. I like that. Respect.
McCaskey, it's good to have you, by the way. I haven't seen you around here. Thanks. No, I agree. Even like just a couple small things like Frog sent me a bunch of stuff and it was really fun. A box. Now our gym all uses Frog and it's like all they did was send me some stuff. Right. And now I talk to people about Frog, right? I originally had an opinion about Frog that was different because Hiller had a video about them like ripping your arm off or something. And then I used them and I'm like, man, I actually really like these. There are other grips that I like, but I really got with a particular pair of Frog grip that I like. So,
wait, tell me about the ripping your arm thing because I might have a story.
It was going around with I think that it's any grip personally. I don't think it's specific to Frog, but it's not. It's when you have it really long and you're not coming off and it gets caught, right? So Hiller, the only thing that Hiller did was he questioned whether or not Tia was injured. It might have been this year going into the Open, her injury or whatnot, because of something that happened with Frog. I think there might have been a rumor.
Yeah, that's because one of like I'm not even exaggerating or making a joke, but one of Frog's social media like marketing videos that I came across was a guy who injured his wrist using the Frog grips, and he was like,
happened to a member of mine yesterday.
Yeah, and he was like, these grips are so grippy that sometimes you just take
I don't
the risk.
think they're more grippier. I don't get it. Like I've used I have 7 different grips, like 7 different brands probably, and we use, what are they called? Spiel bars.
Yeah,
I don't really like them. What do you guys use?
What
I
the
love steel
fuck,
bars.
Grant? Who
I don't
are
know.
you? Oh
I'm
my
just saying,
god!
every
Yeah,
time
tell
I
me,
go to
tell
a
me you're
different
new to
gym,
CrossFit without telling me. You're
I
new to
don't like
CrossFit.
it. I can't get a good freaking grip. That's why I have 7 different brands. But
You
the frog
can't
ones
get
work.
a good grip on
No, I
raw
cannot.
steel.
I can't. No,
Are your hands cut off?
no. So all
Well,
I'm saying is that
do you know what
I
kind
get a
of
good
frog
grip of the
grips?
frogs.
Do you know what kind of frog grips do you have?
They're not the ones that are chalkless. They're the OG
Okay, I have
ones that I chalk.
I got those same ones, and I will say, so like I'm going to use my girlfriend as an example. She loves the frog grips. When she was in Australia, it's the only brand that they really use because they don't have spiel bars in Australia. Like I guess those like Rogue doesn't ship over there or whatever. So they have this
I'm moving to Australia.
They have this whole complete different brand of rigs. And when I jumped on there with my Victory grips, which normally I love, they work fine for me, especially on spill bars. It was slippery as hell on their bars. Like I chalked nothing. And so she gave me her pair of chalkless, like it's got to be chalkless, otherwise it fucks them up. Frog grips, and dude, I thought I was gonna break my wrist. If that thing, you were locked in.
Okay, so I had Victory, and I had to switch on the spiel bar from the which is the one that's completely chalkless, the really thin one that everybody uses. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's probably the one you use. No, for Victory. Maybe? No, the Victory grip. You've used Victory, right?
The tactical.
Oh yeah, but
So I had to switch to the Freedom, like the middle tier that you can chalk but don't have to chalk, because I didn't like them on the spiel bars. I don't know if ours are old or jacked up or haven't been cleaned or what, but it kind of goes along with the question. Augustus had a question about removing for you, Seth. He wanted to ask that.
I've never removed powder coating, but we have a gym right now that's getting some of the bars like sanded down. I think Bill Grunler talked about it in the episode I did with them last week about affiliate equipment. I think he said he sanded a bunch of them down to more raw or just like grippier, bites better. But I've never done it, honestly. I just buy a mix of powder coated and a mix of spiel bars for all the Rogue rigs.
Hey,
and
HDR.
Grant, I was DMing you right the other day about Raylan's chocolate
grips. Yeah, I
just
messed around with them today.
They're just like the frog grips I just described. Like when I wear my Raylan grips, chocolate grips, those things are locked.
They seem sticky. I only used them for a little bit, but they did. Yeah. Hey, HGR, I'm old and breaking down, so I will let you know that I will absolutely try your products. And rep them. I'm very old, very breaking down. I'm the perfect candidate. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Look, Augustus destroyed 2 pairs of Tactical 3 on the first workout with them. Sent me replacements, but still, they were good with me too. I haven't heard that before. They have a casky old. I haven't had that happen. I just had the issue where maybe our bars need cleaned. I don't freaking know, but they sent me the other ones, and I liked them. No.
Don't clean pull-up bars. Let them get conditioned. I don't know. You.
All right. Fine. Let's just play the video.
Superior to the Nike weightlifters. They're lifestyle Nike shoes that you're sponsored by. It's like, isn't that just a back around way of saying that the other products they're wearing aren't as superior as the ones that you're wearing over here? Because Red is a good looking shoe. I see people wearing those things all the time, everywhere, not just in the gym, but it's not like he's at a suit and tie event. They're not Louis Vuittons that he's got to wear instead of the Nike. Like, that one I would understand. This one, not so much. I also don't understand all the James Sprague hate. And maybe you'll be a little bit confused about that because he beat everyone else that stuck that thing out. What I'm talking about is the Barbell Spin Post, where John Young's Mountain was most recently featured. I think that.
Okay, I don't want to do this too long, but just real quick, did you guys have any strong thoughts about the Mountain? Anything where you're just like, that's BS?
No.
I actually like it.
Yeah, I always like to let John post his stuff and then see how it plays out. I have no strong thoughts yet.
Cool.
James Sprague was on the 3rd level. James Sprague gets all this crap thrown at him on Reddit. James Sprague is sitting at the mountain and he's hanging out with Jeff Adler and company. And there's a comment there which is like, James Sprague could go lower. And the best thing about James Sprague is he doesn't care. He wants to get into the battle a little bit. He's like, yeah, I think I should even be a little bit lower. Put me all the way down. I don't even deserve to be on the mountain. But it's like, dude, these people are so stupid. What is James Sprague's biggest flaw? And although I don't think the test this year crowned the fittest on earth, he definitely won the CrossFit Games. He won the freaking CrossFit Games. There were other people there. They all could have won the CrossFit Games, but James did it. And his biggest hole, in my opinion, is his strength. And then I see him doing stuff like freaking hitting 330 for triple push jerks. And it's like, guys, shut the hell up. It's not like he was hanging out with Tia Toomey at the top of the mountain. Matt O'Keefe had some words of wisdom for James Sprague.
I feel like yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to rehash the hour-long first review
Right?
of Hiller video ever, but I
That's what I was
still
thinking.
completely disagree with his take on that.
Yeah.
If James won the CrossFit Games, he is crowned fittest on earth.
Yeah.
You cannot just decide that this year doesn't count. And so I would love
because it's never perfect. You have to
it can
accept
never be perfect.
what it is.
Exactly. You have to accept the test at its face.
I will say that in the case of in my little kind of dumb 5-minute video, I will say that and what I said in there was that when you've got Tia Toomey, you've got Froning and Frazier, in those cases, maybe we're a little bit spoiled, but the title went from being partially ceremonial to being like, there is no doubt that if healthy, these people, you can't beat them. They are the fittest on earth, whereas it's maybe not, we don't see as much dominance. Obviously we do from Tia, but maybe not quite as much on the men's side now that Medeiros has dropped off a little bit. So,
but that's okay. Isn't that better?
Totally.
The first handful of years of the games, every year was a different champion till Rich held it down, and that was cool. We wanted to see a battle. I think that's fine, and I think
agree.
I mean, Greg said it, and people accepted it for the same reasons you can call Lakers the world champions. We'll call ours the fittest on earth. So that's the title. You can't just interchange it when it's convenient for you.
Yep, agreed.
If a tree falls and no one is there to hear it fall, does it make a noise?
I didn't know Matt O'Keefe drove race cars. I also didn't know that this popped up on Google when you looked up who is Colton Burton's dad. I also didn't know that Tanner Shuck failed Anatomy 101.
Muscle is the largest organ on your body.
Tanner Shuck expects people to take him seriously, but he's out there telling people that anything other than the skin is the largest organ on the body. The muscles are the biggest organ on the body. What did you go to school for again, Tanner? I still got all my books down here, bro. Hunter McIntyre predicted the future of CrossFit after having been through a handful of failed organizations himself.
What the hell's going to happen with CrossFit? This is what happens to all great empires. Like the underlings always try to take out the guy at the top. Happened to Greg. Now they're trying to kill Dave Castro. And the saddest part about it is it comes from these fucking athletes that think that they get to have like valid opinions because they do heavier power cleans than the average human being. It's sad, man. The thing that I think a lot of these guys don't notice is I've been part of 3 sports that have died, and you guys are right in the middle of yours dying. And you don't even know it. You guys don't even know it, and you're just going to keep on stabbing away until there's no blood left. McIntyre. And paint it all over your face like you've succeeded in some way, shape, or form. And then what you worked so hard for, you were the person that you killed. You killed it.
It was like...
Go ahead, pool boy.
I know you guys have something you want to say.
Do I think it's dying? No, I don't think it's dying.
No. Well, okay, maybe it is. Maybe it is, but it's not because of what Hunter said. Yes, there are some athletes, in a rage this year after what happened at the games. Sure, that's natural, but it's not.
If it dies, it'll be. If it dies, if it dies, like what you were just kind of, I think, alluding to, it'll be the athlete's fault.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Nope. I think it'll be
our first fight.
I
think so.
I mean, yeah, maybe you're right, but there is no shortage of people who want to come up behind them and fill their slots. There's not an actual players union where people are striking and not participating. There is no shortage of the next generation of athletes who would love to come up and compete at that level. And maybe they're not quite at the level that we're seeing now, but there's enough at the games level who will continue to compete, and enough that are higher level semifinals that will happily backfill those slots. And the process will continue if it's supported by CrossFit. I think if it dies, it's because of CrossFit not intentionally supporting it the way they need to, not growing it the way they need to, not allowing others to help grow it the way they need to. So if it is on its way out, it's probably strategic, and it's due to the mothership itself.
See, I only say that would be the athlete's fault is because if you look back in CrossFit's heyday, you could almost name every athlete and then also the affiliate they train out of. But these days, these athletes are just training in their garage. Yeah. They give nothing back to the affiliates.
Agreed.
You don't ever see them thanking the affiliates, talking about the affiliates in post interviews or any interview at all. So as like the affiliates kind of, in terms of the number of affiliates growing, kind of goes down each year. I mean, if the affiliates eventually go down, I mean, that's what funds the games. Unless someone else takes over the games, it's the affiliates that fucking give the athletes the platform that they have. They should be giving everything they have back to the affiliates, popping into their local affiliate to do a class, coach a class, something to give back. Because if the affiliates go down, the games go down. Unless
I
some
just
other
don't think
outside
they
company
think
buys
about it. I don't think they think about where everything comes from, and it's unfortunate, but
There's definitely truth to what you guys are saying. However, a couple things with that. So there are probably more athletes that are still coming out of affiliates than we realize. They may not be getting highlighted the way some of these young guns are that are essentially professionals now, because there's a small pocket on both the men's and women's side that continuously get highlighted. And it does appear that they don't happen to train at actual affiliates. So I think that is an issue. But also the overall athlete pool compared to back in the day when they were on level 1 staff and owning affiliates and all that is dramatically larger, right? So we knew who was coming out of the affiliates. We knew who was going to compete each year, and we could keep tabs on the high level athletes because there was only 100 of them on both sides, men and women. Now we can look at all these semifinals and find all this ridiculous talent at the semifinal level, and even below that didn't qualify, missed it by a few reps or whatever. The athlete pool is super, super deep. And a lot of those athletes are training in affiliates and they are somewhat active in their community. We're just not doing a good job of highlighting that aspect of those athletes.
that's a good point.
And so back to what we were saying, I'm sorry to derail this, but back to what we're talking about with like CrossFit, like redoing their YouTube and shit. I know this doesn't really apply to CrossFit training specifically, but who wouldn't love to see them go to an affiliate that has like a well-known team or maybe an individual and some other good athletes, like go into Invictus and have them recreate Nasty Girls, go into some other gym, have them do a benchmark that we all know. Like
see, I would watch
Iron
that.
Triathlon with Hopper and Dallin. Iron Triathlon. If you've never seen that,
Dude, they don't have the guts to do that workout. Holy shit.
Well, okay, so maybe the OGs.
Okay, I'm afraid to say this because
you don't know what the Iron Triathlon is.
No.
Oh my God!
Is
Dude,
that
do you know
really
what
bad?
Do you know what Linda is?
Yes, I know all the girl workouts.
So Linda is the Iron Triathlon doubled. It's 20, except it's backwards. You do you go up. So Linda goes down.
You know what it is?
Linda goes down. Iron Triathlon goes up, but it goes 1 to 20, not 1 to 10.
It takes hours. There's a very, very I mean, if you're into edging, you could go put on this 2-hour Iron Triathlon video of Khalifa and Bailey with this like techno music in the background, and it just there's no talking. It just focuses on them doing this workout for 2 hours. I'll probably do a stream where I just play that the whole time and just it's at HQ.
Okay.
But it's like incredible. Badass. Like the background is like black.
It's incredible.
Like
I even like watching
in the air. They're shirtless. They're so fucking jacked and like sweaty. Like
I like watching Noah Olson do workouts, dude. When he does the girl workouts, like, man, when I look at the old media, particularly from somebody coming in with a different perspective, I'm post Greg, I'm post all the OG stuff, right? I came into CrossFit in 2021. There's a difference between people who were here a lot earlier. But when I go back and I look at the media, it's like non-existent. The stuff was really cool. And I learned about some of it on Seth's channel.
There is so much old media. I mean, there is so much of it. You can get lost in scrolling for days and days through the old YouTube channels, the games and the CrossFit one. There is so much old good stuff. It's not resurfacing. It's not being highlighted. It's not being used. It's not being repurposed. There's so much of it. Yeah. So we'll have to do I'm definitely going to do that. A stream with the Iron Triathlon for 2 hours. I'm going to let it play, and I'll just let anyone who wants to come on and chat, and we're going to watch the whole damn thing.
Can I come on and jelk live while you're watching that?
For sure.
You know, it would be sick though, is if they did reenact that with Noah Olson and Alex Kazan. Not to like sexualize them, but their bodies are both so perfect for a workout like that.
They work great for that. That'd be awesome.
I would absolutely watch that. Like that stuff is entertaining, man.
Yeah,
making me mad that they don't. Okay, let's go.
Spartan race and then some other race and then some other race and soon to be High Rocks because it gets boring as crap and nobody wants to just keep on doing the same thing and thing forever. But he references eating their own. As soon as you see weakness, you got to take out the leader. To be determined. I thought it was a pretty insightful take from Mr. McIntyre. I thought that CrossFit could do a better job spell checking their workout of the day postings. The way that I look at it over there is there's always just an influx of people. Some people want to put the men's weights first. Some people want to put the women's weights first. Some people want to use those things that signify man and woman with the outward arrow and the downward arrow. And when you do all of these things and you don't just list it how it's always been listed, it leaves room for error. And then all of a sudden you got people out there listing the women's weight as 155 and the men's weight is 105. And I've made errors myself and I put up my own program. I'll be the first one to tell you that, but I'm not running a multi-million-dollar company. I made this video, I'm making that video. I was out recording with Tyson the other day. Our pets' heads are falling off. And maybe, just maybe, that's also what's going on at CrossFit. You'd think they'd want somebody specifically running the workout of the day programming. And also, if they can't do it, fire them. They didn't redact that though. They fixed it. You're welcome. Some of you may have seen this.
Yeah, there have been a lot of errors. I think if it was one or two, it would be.
I don't understand it.
It just shows they don't care. That's all it is. Simple. And the fact that they're passing it off to all these people to write.com randomly shows they don't care
It's
as well.
not good,
that it bothers me, but they don't
so
care.
Many
it's
things
that simple.
So many things have been lost that were good things, it seems.
There are plenty of people still on staff that have been seminar staff, L4s, all like there are plenty of still.
One of my best
OG
friends
people.
is L4. He's been there since 2008. Eric.
Those people can quite easily, not easily, but many of them are capable of recreating and keeping the true core of what main site programming should be alive. They're capable. I'm not a discussion about whether the main site program should be progressing into what it could be today. But the single workout, the single, shifting around like they teach in the seminars, that can be done really well still, really well. And it's not being done really well. And it's too bad because it's such an amazing thing to go check out on a daily basis. And if you want to look at a big picture calendar of it, and it used to be done so well, and now it's just not really worth looking at. It's a bummer.
The end is going to be my personal.
Yeah, who does the CAP programming? Why don't they just do the .com workouts? It doesn't make sense to me.
Great question. I'm going to have to ask James Hobart that because I think he's probably involved in some degree, and I think he's definitely involved in CAP. And so I would be very curious why someone like James, who is very capable, isn't just writing main site.
Like it could be the easiest thing. Just copy and paste. Just make the CAP the .com workouts. Like
I couldn't tell you.
That's too smart.
So weird.
Yeah, it's crazy math, isn't it? If you don't subscribe, please do subscribe. That is very helpful. Let's do this.
With reps ahead or Brian Friend. Yeah, you didn't see that one coming, did you? I didn't see that one coming, did you? What is it that you took away from the Danny Spiegel video? I'll wait. I won't wait. I don't wait for anybody. Because what you could have taken away from that Danny Spiegel video is that some of the greatest internet content on the face of planet Earth could have arisen from that if she would have just put her ego aside the way that Brian and I have. We're putting our egos aside and we are coming together, hopefully, for what is going to be the best reps ahead freaking competition of all time. I just saw some of the names going to that thing. I've seen the venue. It's going to be freaking sick. You guys thought there was nothing going on in the CrossFit space. I simply will not let that happen. There will always be something going on in the CrossFit space. Is this where I tell you to follow my YouTube channel? This is where I'm going to tell you to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you never get bored when nobody else is doing anything. This week is CrossFit Crash Crucible.
By the way, if you haven't watched the Hiller video, I don't want to take a couple of views from him. Make sure you watch it in its entirety. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Savan says it's not going to happen. And then he just said, I can't remember what word he used, but it just made me wonder. It sounds like, I don't want to say up in the air, but it just sounds like it's 98% final.
No, it's gonna happen. Yeah. I think he was just being facetious, like they're gonna fight or something, and it's not gonna happen. But I don't understand the reps ahead thing too much. But what's really cool about it, and if Brian and whoever else is invested in that reps ahead thing, if they do it right, like it can be something really cool. Because I was watching the Wadapalooza live stream and just kind of killing downtime. There wasn't really much on. And then the reps ahead thing came on. And I watched it mainly because the first male athlete was a gentleman named Andrew Malik Kazeta, who's a gentleman from my area. And so I know him. So I was like, oh, cool, I'll watch it. He was one of the, I think he was the second or third NorCal Classic champion to win it. So I'm watching it, and my dad, who only cares about CrossFit because I do it, he doesn't CrossFit, he doesn't watch it, but he's watching it, and even at the end, he was kind of like, I hear him start to like say like the typical sport, words that you say, like, "Oh, come on," like, "Oh, he's getting close," like, "Oh," like he started to kind of get into it a little bit. And after the last athletes, Hopper and Sprague, after they were done, like he even was like, "Hey, that was kind of cool." And I was like, that was kind of surprising to me. So if it got someone like my dad who doesn't give a fuck about CrossFit only because I do it, then it could be something really cool if they do it right.
The venue's good. I looked at the venue. It's a short drive for me, so I think I'm going to go. I talked to the reps ahead. I should find out his name, the guy who runs it. But yeah, it should be good. I know it's going to be Sprague. They haven't announced that yet, but he said he didn't care if people knew that. And I texted Sprague and asked him. He was kind of like, he didn't phrase it 100%, but it's going to be Sprague. I don't know who else. They're going to announce it on Saturday, I think. So I'm probably going to
always that same. Is it always that same workout though?
I don't believe so. No, it wasn't. Gosh,
I like the concept. I do like the concept of reps ahead. We actually used to write like partner battle workouts that were like similar to this concept, but I don't know enough about, I haven't seen all the past ones, but you do have to be very careful with the workouts, because if someone pulls ahead early in the first like few minutes, the show is over. So like you have to make sure that you have the really good matchups and a really good
Phil
setup.
is his name.
But it is cool. I like the concept.
Oh shit! It'd be really cool is if they somehow, I don't want to say partnered with Grid or made it into something like that, because Grid is not watchable for me. I cannot watch that.
Where can you watch Grid?
That's a good point too. But when I see clips like on Instagram, because I have some friends that like are part of the teams, I'm just like, God, this shit is so silly. But if Reps Ahead somehow were to incorporate a team aspect like that, where, hey, there's a team that's represented by a city, a sponsor, or something, and they then at that point will choose like certain athletes for certain events, and they have to go head to head against the other team's athlete, kind of like how a wrestling meet works. I think that'd be a kind of a cool concept.
I'm all for them expanding this as far as they want.
No, I love it.
Viewers and everything. Yeah, I mean, make it a
really
cool event.
Hope I hope there's multiple big names. I hope Sprague is up against somebody that's good. I hope it's like Dallin or somebody. So I'm excited.
By the way, I wonder if this is weird for Hiller to watch a podcast about us watching him.
It'd be weird if he did a podcast about us doing a podcast about watching.
That's the next step, obviously. Okay, that's
Inception.
And then. Oh
gosh, I can't even go further. And then.
Handful of elite athletes over there. That's going to be a good competition. You should go watch it. The Sevan Podcast is streaming that. One final note. I wrote the Gotham benchmarks. I had that thing going through the beginning of September, and they're finished up. And of the 45 people who started that, 14 people finished it. The only way that you got a score on that was if you had finished it. Here are a handful of cards that I kind of made up. The highest scores on that out of 100 were from Natalie Heading, who got an 82 out of 100, and from Haley Hunter, who got 84 out of 100. I had 2 high-level CrossFit athletes who were interested in it, but they weren't up to the challenge. They're like, oh, that looks like a fun workout. And I go, you want to do all of them? The 14 people who did finish that thing? Awesome. I believe I had an individual who had only done one of the workouts as prescribed. And that's kind of how I wrote them. I had an SRX version and a scaled version, but they were all doable. The whole thing was doable. And at the end of it, you're given a score anywhere from 0 to 100. And the person who scores a 1 could have been anybody. That's how I made it. The person who got 100, basically Tia Toomey. It's written for Tia Toomey. I got a group, Hiller Fit members group, and there's one comment from Tara Hodge. It was super awesome to do. Glad I hit all the workouts, but man, am I at thing. I should mention, Andrew, that I've drastically improved since leaving blank. I can maintain toes to bar from 3 to 4 and now 8. I can do straight pull-ups again, hostess for 10 push-ups again. I can lunge with the 35-pound dumbbells again. I can clean a 150-pound sandbag. I appreciate your programming more than I can explain. You've given me back some of my fitness. And that was an awesome comment to read. Tara finished half of the workouts as prescribed, finished with a 34 on the Gotham benchmarks. And if everything she said is true right there, when we repeat them in the next 4 months, she should be moving up to at least 35. If you're bored for the rest of the day, check out the video that I did with Consistency Breeds nutrition owner Justin, as him and I bounce back and forth between whether or not the killer is calories or sugar. That's all I got to say about that. And Riller out.
All right, I got something to say about that. I feel passionately about this. I did the workouts, and I did them actually to basically shame myself because I'm really out of shape compared to where I was. And I wanted to do them. I wanted to finish them so that 6 months I could do better. But the one thing that I didn't like was that, have you guys seen the Batman workout?
Not that one specifically.
Probably, but I don't. Yeah,
Okay.
probably, I don't remember.
So like there's a scaled version for each one, right? And you have to do it as prescribed. So you either do the RX or you do the one scaled version. And like there's Mr. Freeze. It's one where your abs.
I'm pulling them up right now.
Yeah, where your abs freeze up, and that was a really good scale. And then the Batman workout, it's a 495 deadlift. It's a Augustus knows my argument, but I've been waiting for Seth to be here to get his opinion. It's a 495 deadlift. It's a 315 bench. It's a 405 squat, 225 snatch. Then after you do that, you do 10 unbroken ring muscle ups and 100 double unders unbroken. And you do 3 rounds of that. So it's crazy, right? Like
it's like a King Kong type work. Oh, you might not know what that is, Grant, but it's like a King Kong type workout.
I know what it is.
Liar.
It's not 595, Augustus. 495. Yeah.
Anyway,
here's the thing. Here's my one problem with that workout specifically, and I'm biased. The stimulus in that workout, and I am not a programmer by any means. I was mad because these little cardio dudes who come in there after running a marathon can all lift. The scale to it was 225 for the back squat. It was 275, I think, for the deadlift, 155 for the bench. Anyone off the street can come out and do that. It was single unders, and it was 10 burpee pull-ups. So I lost any ability for there to be a CrossFit skill, the double unders, and ring muscle ups I can't do because of my shoulder, and I wouldn't be able to do 10 unbroken for 3 rounds. But I wanted the lift to be heavier so that I could beat the dudes for me, it was a jump rope workout.
Dude, you that's fine. You can be mad. Oh, but gosh. You're wanting to pick and choose like what best suits you in a variation. I still think those weights for a scaled is fine. It's a decent challenge. I think the movements have to get brought back. Otherwise, people aren't doing the movements, period. So could it be scaled in a different way? Sure. But I don't think there's anything actually wrong with that scale. It's just that when we lose our advantage because we have to knock it down from RX something, we immediately go, but if it was different, I would. Yeah. So that happens to me. It happens to everybody. So that's kind of what you're feeling right now, because the real answer should be, fuck, man, you got to get my strength up so I can finish the benchmark. Like if this is the standard, that's what I need to do. But
look, with that workout, I just really like the workout. And so did a few other people in the comments. And I really wanted there to be a third tier. I didn't have time to. I'm going to do it at some point, adjusted to like 445 dead, 315 squat, and 250 bench or something like that, because I love the workout.
So that's what you should do is like, if you're going to scale, it's awesome that he provides scaling options. That's cool. But if you're going to scale, you may as well set it up as best as you can based on the weights and skills to get the stimulus he intends for the elites. So if you set it up to make it feel the same, regardless of your score on his test, that's going to be the best result of that workout. So that's my advice
for the
to you.
Gotham workouts. Yeah, for the Gotham workouts, you stick to as prescribed scaled, which is fine.
Are these posted anywhere?
He had them on his Instagram, on his second Instagram, HillerFit 4.0 or something. But I'm going to do the workout and have it be a little bit heavier just because I like the workout.
Yeah. So what's funny, random coincidence, and I'll keep this short. So Jump Ship has done something called the 100 points test, which is similar but not the same to what Hiller's doing. And in the 100 points test, we use pretty much all CrossFit benchmarks. So he's created his own Gotham ones. We use CrossFit ones, Fran, DT, Diane, 333, all this stuff. So we use that to do the same thing. And the same issue happens is that like some of the skills come up that people can't do, even though they think they're competitors, or to get to score points on certain lifts. We do CrossFit total and like 1 rep max snatch in there. And the amount of load you have to be able to move to score any points is higher than what a lot of people get. And they're like, oh, that's not fair. I don't even get I get 0 because I can only snatch 155 for your guy. It's like, you're not on a competitive level. You're not on that. So the same thing would apply to his test. It's just that like, if you're not able to complete it, you're not on the level he's looking for to award points. And that's That's how it is. We don't do it for classes specifically because you'd give everyone in your affiliate a freaking 0 because no one would be at any sort of like competitive level, or they'd have to scale everything. So you automatically get a 0. So it's a whole thing. But
yeah,
I'm on Hiller's side on this. I think his scale's fine.
Yeah, it's totally a personal thing. I'm passionate. I am the most competitive person you'll ever meet, stuck in an uncompetitive body right now. So it drives me nuts, right? And
that's good.
And I'm passionate about things, and I love CrossFit. So I'm gonna get into that stuff. And the reason I completed the workouts, I don't want anybody seeing my score. I don't want to post that. I started posting scores again like 2 months ago for the reason that it made me want to go harder and do better, because I don't want to put a score on the scoreboard that I don't like, so
yeah.
Cool boy, what do you think? You're looking
Dude,
at the workout.
I'm looking at I'm looking at all of them to see
What do
if
you
there's any that I would like be somewhat competitive in, and Riddler would be my best one. But I saw what's his face? Who's Hiller's boy again?
Oh, yeah, Bill. I actually,
Blahey, yeah, he had some insane time, and I was like,
I goaded him into that.
I
said,
don't know if I can go sub 3.
Oh, is it the muscle up test?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
I'd get like
Bill said,
tell me if Pillar does sub 4. I could go sub 4, but I do not know if I can go sub 3. That's nuts.
Yeah, Bill wanted to know if Hiller had posted a score. He doesn't. I don't think he posts that often, but he wanted to know. He's like, did Hiller post a score on that? I'm about to do it.
I've quickly seen a handful of those benchmarks that he made, and those are like crazy tests. Those are like legit. There's like he said, it's written for Tia Claire. Yes, it is. Even just to do most of it, RX is written for her. Yeah, it's tough. I have not requested any partnerships on 100 points test. Maybe next iteration. Maybe we can convince Taylor to collab with me on that in the future. That would be fun.
Well,
Poison Ivy's also nuts. Holy shit.
Which one was that? Bane. Bane is insane. That one's crazy. Julia.
Okay. Wow.
She can go so far.
Grant.
Yeah.
Grant, you did this great. You did a great job with this. This is you pulled it off. I didn't know that this could work, and you made it work. So good for you.
Hey, he just provides the material. We talk about it. I facilitate. You guys make fun of me for being 3 years old in CrossFit years, and we carry on.
That's fun.
Hey, I have a quick question. Quick question for Seth. Do you have any speculation why Fittest of the Coast's leaderboard is still blurred?
I have no idea. To be honest, I don't know. I've had a few athletes do that in the past. I don't follow it super close. They send me the workouts. I build them in. They do them, and then I try to gather info. So I have no idea. If I find out, though, I'll DM you.
Cool.
Yep.
I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for everybody who watched. We will be back at some point. See you guys later.